Every single one of these bottles is telling you a story, and almost none of that story is true. The single malt industry has built one of the most sophisticated marketing machines in the history of alcohol, and today I am going to dismantle it piece by piece. Single malt Scotch whiskey is the most prestigious category in the spirits world. It is what serious drinkers reach for, what collectors invest in, what gets gifted in boardrooms and opened at celebrations. And the industry knows exactly what that reputation is worth. Because here's what nobody in the single malt world wants you to understand. The gap between what is in the bottle and what you are paying for has never been wider. And the tools they use to hide that gap are more sophisticated than ever. This is not about fake whiskey. This is about something far more common and far more profitable. This is about the real single malt scam. Let me be precise about what the scam actually is, because it is not one thing. It is a system, a carefully constructed set of narratives that the industry has spent decades and billions of dollars building around a product that in many cases costs far less to produce than you are paying to consume it. The actual cost of producing a standard 12-year-old single malt whiskey, grain, water, distillation, maturation, bottling, is a fraction of what sits on the retail shelf. The markup between production cost and retail price on premium single malt is among the highest of any consumer product category in the world. What fills that gap? Not quality, not craft, not the liquid in the bottle. Marketing. Walk into any whiskey retailer and count how many times you see these words: handcrafted, artisan, small batch, traditional, heritage, rare. Now ask yourself, what do any of those words actually mean legally? The answer in most cases is absolutely nothing. There is no legal definition of handcrafted whiskey, no regulatory requirement for what qualifies as small batch, no standard for what heritage means on a label. These words exist for one purpose: to create a feeling of premium value that justifies a premium price. And the feelings they create are entirely manufactured. The single malt scam is not someone lying to you outright. It is someone telling you a story so consistently and so convincingly that you never think to ask whether the story is true. Let me give you the specific mechanisms, the exact tools the industry uses to justify prices that the liquid alone cannot support. Age statements are the single most powerful pricing lever in whiskey. A 12-year-old and an 18-year-old from the same distillery can differ in retail price by 200% to 400%. Does older automatically mean better? Absolutely not. Age tells you how long the whiskey sat in a cask. It tells you nothing about the quality of that cask, the quality of the spirit going in, or whether the additional years actually improved it. Some whiskeys peak at 10 years. Some are better at 8. The industry charges you for time, not for quality. Most standard single malts you buy have had caramel coloring, E150A, added before bottling. This is legal, this is common, and this is never prominently disclosed. Why does it matter? Because color is one of the primary cues consumers use to judge quality and age. Deeper amber suggests longer maturation and richer flavor. The industry knows this, so they add color to create the visual impression of a quality the liquid may not have earned. That beautiful deep amber in the bottle, it may have nothing to do with what happened in the cask. Non-chill filtered is increasingly used as a premium signal, implying that the brand cares so deeply about flavor that they refuse to use the industry standard process. What they do not tell you is that chill filtration only removes certain fatty acids and proteins that cause haziness at low temperatures. Many drinkers cannot taste the difference. For many expressions, it makes no meaningful difference to the flavor whatsoever. But it sounds premium, so it gets used as a justification to charge more. Limited editions are the most honest scam in the industry, because at least they do not pretend to be anything other than what they are. A distillery releases 3,000 bottles of something with unusual packaging, a special cask finish, and a story about a master distiller's personal selection. The liquid inside is often drawn from the same warehouses as their standard expression. The production cost is almost identical. The retail price is 3 to 5 times higher. Why do people pay it? Because scarcity is the most powerful value signal in luxury marketing, and the industry manufactures scarcity deliberately, releasing limited quantities not because they cannot make more, but because artificial scarcity justifies artificial pricing. Here's the insight that changes everything. The premium single malt experience is not primarily a product experience. It is a narrative experience. What I mean by that is this. When you open a bottle of Macallan 18 and pour a glass, a significant portion of what you taste is the story you have been told about that bottle. The heritage, the prestige, the age, the craftsmanship, the rarity. This is not speculation, it is documented science. Multiple blind tasting studies have consistently shown that whiskey drinkers cannot reliably identify more expensive expressions when price information is removed. In one widely cited study, trained tasters were given whiskeys at various price points completely blind. Their quality rankings showed almost no correlation with retail price. A $30 bottle outperformed a $300 bottle in the same tasting more times than the industry would ever want published. The premium single malt narrative is built on the assumption that you will never taste blind, that you will always know what you're drinking before you drink it, that the story will always be there to shape the experience. And for the most part, they're right. Now, I want to be careful here because this matters. This does not mean expensive single malt is never worth the money. Some premium expressions genuinely deliver exceptional liquid that justifies exceptional pricing. Craft distilleries that use rare cask types, unusual production methods, and genuinely limited supply create real value for serious enthusiasts. But the system, the broad machinery of the single malt industry, is designed to generate premium perception rather than deliver premium value. And the consumers who understand that distinction spend their money better, drink better, and never feel fooled by a label again. That is exactly what Behind the Barrel exists for. Single malt whiskey can be genuinely extraordinary. The best expressions from honest producers absolutely justify serious investment. But the system around single malt, the age statement pricing, the manufactured scarcity, the caramel coloring, the meaningless premium terminology, is designed to extract money from your trust rather than your taste. 3 things to remember every time you buy. Color tells you nothing real without checking the label for E150A. Age tells you time, not quality. Limited edition tells you the marketing budget was high, not the liquid. Buy what tastes good in your glass, not what sounds good on the label. Now I want to hear from you. What is your best value single malt discovery? The bottle that over-delivered completely for the price. The one that made you question everything you thought you knew about premium whiskey. Drop it in the comments. Those recommendations protect every person in this community from spending money on a story instead of a dram. Subscribe to Behind the Barrel for honest, unsponsored investigations into what is actually in your glass every single week. Drink less, drink better, and always check what is behind the barrel.